Hi everyone. We've realised we haven't shown you around our beauty little home on wheels. This is a 2012 Mercedes Sprinter and we converted her in 2021. If you're new here, I'm Jess and you'll meet John in a minute, but this beauty van has been all kinds of places with us, but on this trip in particular, we've been from France to Belgium to Germany to Switzerland to Italy, and you find us in Slovenia today, which is a beautiful country. You've got to come. The rest of our trip's going to take us to Croatia and Bosnia. But before we show you the inside, let's get John to show you the outside.
So as Jess says, this is a 2012 Sprinter and it used to be a patient transport vehicle. It only done 60,000 miles when we got it, and it's got loads of little upgrades on it, like spotlights, suspension all round's been upgraded, the engine's been upgraded. So yeah, it's just a brilliant base vehicle really. So I fitted some little spotlights on the front and on the roof rack there, and I put the standard Mercedes recovery point in and just put a shackle through it. So just if we ever need to get towed out or anything like that. And then I put the arches on the side, just the front and the back, just to give it a bit more of an off-roady look. And I went for some alloy wheels with all-terrain tyres. I'm running 255 60/18s on this, and it doesn't rub or anything like that, and yeah, they really are brilliant, and we haven't got stuck yet on grass or mud or anything like that, so I'm well happy with them. And the road noise, you don't even notice the difference, to be honest, so they're brilliant. So it came with this step on it, which to be honest, we don't really use much, but Jess could have done with it last night. She had a few too many Slovenian liquors, and she doesn't drink much, so that didn't end up very well. But, yeah, we've got that, and then we've got the Fiamma awning. I think these are the best awnings you can get. So easy to put in and out. You just wind the handle out, legs come out, drop them in. Yeah, it's just, in my opinion, you've got to have one of these on the side of it. And then at the back here, we just got the water filler point and the exhaust for the hot water heater. And then I've also fitted, so on these Sprinters all the way along, both sides, in here, they're hollow. So all I've done is I've got a little boat hatch, and then undo that. And then this is where I store my expanding hose to fill up with water. And the reason I did this was when we were in France, it was a bit cold, not on this trip, on a previous trip. It was a bit cold and raining, and to go in the van and get the hose out and everything like that, yeah, all the heat out, and then once you're filled up, you've got a hose full of water that you're putting back in the van. Whereas this, like I say, I just pull it out, plug it in, it fills it up, and then I stick it back in, and there's a little drain hole inside that's already there anyway, so even if it does leak, it drains out. Yeah, and it just stores away nicely, so a bit more storage that you don't have to take up in the van. And then I fitted these. So these are just standard Thule bike carriers, but they're the type that you fit your forks into rather than your wheel. And all I've done to make it is I've just got a second-hand roof rack off of eBay, just chopped them down and bolted it straight to the door, top and bottom. But then the reason I've done it like this is because when your bike's on the back, obviously it's only got your back wheel in and no front wheel, and then you put both your front wheels either on the roof or inside. So if somebody wants to nick your bikes, they're going to have to nick it on one wheel. So that's why I like them anyway. And then I fitted an aluminium ladder to it as well. I think these are the best as well. Steel ones don't last very long. And then all we do is we just run a bag on the back. This is just an old army canvas bag. And we just use this for a start. If we find any litter when we're parked up, we can stick it in there. But also, if we've got overflow litter, if our bin in there is full in the actual van, we can then stick it in there until we find a bin that we can put it in. So we'll never be without one of these anyway.
So welcome to the garage. The garage is a multi-purpose area for us. So we've got a shower screen that goes up, and you've got full privacy to have a shower outdoors. We do have indoor shower as well. The shower point is just here. It's a bullfinch shower point. So it just pops up, shower clips in, and then we've got a little holder there as well. Full luxury. We've got an instantaneous hot water heater, which is vented to the outside, and a 100-litre over-the-wheel arch water tank. Masses of storage in here. So we've got two big boxes and an inflatable kayak. We've got a big piece of soil pipe that John's fixed to the underneath of the bed to store our oars, and just some brackets to hold our chairs. The electrics is over on this side, but I'll let John tell you about that because that's his domain. And we've also got a little space for pull-out table. We do have a table, but sometimes you want it in a different spot, so we've got a little extra table. And we've got our thermal blinds for the curtains as well. And the piece de resistance of the garage is this pull-out box. So you just pull these latches up and you've got this massive box that you can get to all the way back. Absolutely brilliant bit of extra storage.
So we always run these wind deflectors on the windows, on the front doors, because then you can drive along, windows down, it's not really noisy. They're brilliant, they are. And then I love these. These are 3 folding steps. They actually call them boat steps, so they use them on boats a lot, but they are brilliant. They're a brilliant alternative if you don't want to put a ladder on, or to put on as well. So we use these to get to the front and also to take the surfboards off. So I'll really recommend them. Just put a big plate on the inside or a flat washer or something like that just to spread the load, and yeah, they work a treat. And then we've got the surfboards on the side, and these tend to get a lot of attention because it's quite hard to make brackets for surfboards, but this is quite simple. All it is a bit of steel flat bar, and I've just bent it into like a U shape. And then I've got some straps that have got wire inside them, so they can't be cut. So on the roof rack, we've got the 2 max tracks, and then we've got a Skepta water can and a Skepta fuel can. We normally run with these empty, but if you can't get to a water point, at least we've got a can to go fill up, and then we can fill up like that. We run a aluminium storage box just for any odds and sods to go up there. And then we've got 360 watts of solar, and we've run 2 max air fans, and Jess will explain why we run that, but there's a little bit of storage space at the front if we wanted to run anything extra, but all in all, it's a nice little setup.
So before we take you inside, there's a couple of other outdoor features I wanted to show you. First is we've got an outdoor gas barbecue point here, and the barbecue lives in the big pull-out drawer I showed you at the back. And we've got a bit of extra storage down the bottom for our hiking shoes, because then you don't trample the mud inside, although John wears his bloody flip-flops anyway. And we've got an outdoor table. So we've got the fold-out one that you could put anywhere, but this is great if you just want to stop and have lunch outside on a nice sunny day. It's just on a magnet and a washer, folds down, supporting strap, which is great. But if you wanted to take it down because you want 3 people around it, say, there's a leg here, and just bolt it onto the bottom, and you've got the outside table with the leg as well. And this comes off, it runs on a rail, and it comes off with some little clips, and you can put it on the table. I'll show you inside as well if you want a big table inside. So welcome to our lounge room. Both of these front seats are on swivel bases, so you just press a little lever down on the side and they swing round easy as, which gives us a nice little lounge with these 2 little seats here. As you can tell, this is my spot. We've also got this lovely little table in the middle here, which is on a lagoon mount, so it means it can fit that person there, or come around and fit with me, or with those little tables, and the big table outside comes in and sits on it as well if you want a big table too. In the top here, we've got little bits of extra storage between the bulkhead and the sun visors, which is really useful. We put our scarves and gloves and things like that up there. And under each of the seats, we've got some storage. So on the passenger seat, there's things like gas adapters, tap adapters, all that sort of jazz. And this seat, we keep John's tools and a pedal lock as well, which is really handy because you just pull it out the front, push it on the pedal, and you haven't got to worry about pulling it in and out. So we've also got 2 extra belted seats at the front. So this van can be a 4-berth if you want it to, because you can get things called kabunks, which go across the front and make little bunk beds as well. We keep under these seats some little wire baskets, which have got our shoes in and things. And then on this side is our Eberspacher diesel heater. So it keeps us nice and warm in winter. And we've got it vented into the bathroom as well, so you get a little drying room, which is handy. This here is our little curtain. So we've got this in here because all of the sides of the van are really darkly tinted. So in the day or at night, if you don't have the lights on, you can get changed and no one can see in, but they can see through the front windows. So we've just got this on a little rail and it pulls across to give us privacy in the back. So the last thing I wanted to show you in the front is this panel up here. So we've got our battery monitor and our light switches, which also has a switch for the air conditioning. So this van came with an Eberspacher air conditioner, which runs off of the engine. And so we've got 2 vents under here, which keep us nice and cool when we're driving, and it blows air into the back from when it was a patient transport vehicle. So it really does help to cool the van down. So we've got 2 max fans, and the reason we have 2 is because you can run one on exhaust and one on intake. So it gets a really good circulation of air through the van, which is really lovely to have in summer, and even in winter actually, just to freshen the place up. And the last little bit up here is this big storage space that we've got. So we use it for our jackets and things in winter, backpacks. You'd be surprised how much stuff you can fit up there.
Kitchen. I wouldn't recommend getting a caravan sink or a tap because they're just too small. So Jess likes to wash her hair a lot, and to do it in the shower all the time, you're just using loads of water. So she washes her hair in the sink quite a bit. So we've got a deep dish sink, and the household tap pulls out, spins round, so you can use it outside as well. So the cooker we run as gas. We've got an underslung gas tank. I wouldn't recommend using electric because if it's a cloudy day, you're using it a lot, you're parked up a lot, you're going to run out. Whereas if you've got two sources, you're always good. The drawers, just got 3 drawers, just on some locking pins. They're really good. And then we just run the cupboard underneath the sink where we store the bin. For the wastewater, we've got an 18 litre water tank underneath. I wouldn't recommend running more than 18 litres really, because why would you want to drive around with a load of weight that's just wastewater really? So what I've got is I've got a little electrical switch on the driver's seat, so I don't have to get out the vehicle to empty it. I can just flick a little switch, there's an electric valve on the tank, and then I can empty the tank wherever I need to.
So she's got loads of storage, this van. Firstly, most importantly for the food, we've got a 130 litre isotherm fridge, and I would honestly recommend getting the biggest fridge you can fit in your van, because like when we went to Switzerland, we could do a massive shop in France and then we only had to buy like some fresh bread in Switzerland, so it saved us a fortune. Also, down the sides of our bed we run 2 boxes either side, and they run the full length, and they're about 15 centimetres deep, and the amount that you can fit in them is really, really surprising. I've got a little like bookcase at the end for all my travel guides and everything, keep all my undies in there, towels, absolutely brilliant. We've got storage all along the top on one side and half side on the other side. And when we built these cabinets, we built them specifically so that they would fit baskets in them, because everyone knows you can get so much more in when you can ram it in a basket, but it's always hard to get baskets to fit once you've built. So we purposely built them to fit the basket, and then they've got an extra gap for storage at the top as well, so you can kind of push socks in or roll some shirts up and put them in there, and they get so much in them. We've also done them with hessian on the front, and we do this for 2 reasons. One is then everything can breathe, so nothing goes musty and mouldy, and also it saves you a ton on weight than if it was solid wood. So welcome to our bedroom. We've got some little USB sockets either side for power, which is handy, and this is our favourite layout for a bed for this kind of van, and there's a couple of reasons for that. We know you can run a bed widthways in these vans, but there's a couple of disadvantages to that. Firstly, you'd lose these cupboards because you can't then sit up, you'd whack your head, so you lose all of that storage, and you don't get these little natty storage boxes that we put in down the side as well. Also, to run it lengthways, John's not tall, or John's too tall I should say, so we'd then have to put on a flare, which ends up costing a lot more money. So this solution gives us a nice comfy day bed. As you can see, I can fit in it really comfortably, and we quite often sit here and work on the laptop, and it doesn't take the bed any further than doing a widthways bed, and I'll show you how we make it long enough for the night. So to make the bed up for the night, all you've got to do, we've got a little frame that sits under here, and it just slides out like that, and then the end of the mattress usually sits behind the cushions, but I've got this one down that I prepared earlier and it just pops up here onto the edge of the mattress, and then you can pull the sheet out over the end so she doesn't fall off in the night, and you've got your full length bed. So you might have heard me mention another shower and our bathroom earlier and be thinking, well, where's that? It's under this bench top. So this is multifunctional. This is where I do all my food prep and stuff, because I really love food and cooking in the van. So this is more than enough space for me to cook and do that on. It also then is on just a little hinge, and it lifts up, magnets up, and this is our bathroom. So we run a composting toilet, and I cannot recommend them highly enough. They're expensive, but they're worth every penny. So we've got a bullfinch shower point again here, which just pops up and you clip your hose in. And the reason we do that is then you haven't got your hose in the way all the time and having to have somewhere to clip it up. So that's really handy. It also has a stainless steel shower tray with a big lip on it. So it means that it doesn't matter what kind of angle we're on, it'll always drain. And it's actually got 2 drain holes in the bottom. Another thing that I'd highly, highly recommend if you're going to run a stainless steel shower tray is to also run a duck board, because otherwise you get cold feet in the winter. And like I said earlier, we've got the diesel heater pumped in as well. So if we get wet things in the winter, we can use little magnetic hooks on these arms underneath the table, clip things on and leave them in here to drip dry, and the heater will dry them as well. So this is how we finish off the shower cubicle. So you just open up this one here, and this is another advantage of the Hessian as well, because it lets things dry. This just pops down on 2 clips. The shower curtain rolls out. Then we've got 2 magnetic hooks here. You just pop them on there and there, and then it clips out like that. And you've got your shower. And to be honest, I think I've been in hotels with smaller showers than this. So that's our beauty little van. If you're into van tours at all, we've actually done 2 other builds that we've done tours for as well, so I'll pop them in the description for you. You can have a look at them. Yeah,
and we've also got 2 other vehicles that we're going to be building. We've got a Land Rover Defender that we're going to convert, and we're going to Africa in that at the end of the year. And we've also got another Mercedes Sprinter, a box van, and we've never done a box van, so that'll be interesting to do. But we're going to do that, and we're going to do some snowy holidays in that, and hopefully, same again, near the end of the year, we're going to go to Northern Europe in it.
Yeah. Get a bit snowy.
Yeah.
Getting the sun in this trip. So like I said at the beginning, we're in Slovenia now. We've got a few more days here, and then we're heading to Croatia and Bosnia. So if you're into anything kind of traveling, anything van life, have a look at the stuff on our channel, and hopefully come along on our next lot of builds in our next bit of travel.